This is Siobhan Haughey, who in 2023 is the fastest 100 freestyler, and here she's swimming breaststroke. What on earth is going on? And here is the Olympic champion in the 100 breaststroke, Lydia Jacoby, and they are racing the 100 breast final at the US Open, and as you can see, Siobhan gets the touch. The internet seems to be shocked about this, but should we have been? Well, everyone was impressed by Siobhan's performance in the 100 breast. The reason that everyone was going absolutely crazy was that she dived in for the 200 freestyle final just 20 minutes before she dived in for the 100 breast final. She was just doing a training piece. She wanted to do a second swim after her 200 freestyle final to really set the tempo for an early season meet. Little did she know she was going to smash the meet record in the 200 freestyle with a cracking 1:54.2 and then follow it up for the best 100 breaststroke she has ever done in her life and even beat the Olympic champion. While the 200 free probably didn't come as a surprise to her or her coach Tom Rushton, because that is an event she trains in, that is an event she set the 4th fastest time in the world this year in, and also is the reigning Olympic silver medalist in. But the 100 breaststroke is an event she races very rarely, and she definitely hasn't been training for. Even she texts me saying, I don't really know what happened in that race. Is this a new project for Siobhan? Is breaststroke something she's just starting to get the hang of and starting to compete in? Well, the answer is no. If we start here at the list of Hong Kong records in swimming, we can see that as we get to the women's records, this is long course, Siobhan has loads. She has the 50 through 400 freestyle, and then she has the 100 butterfly there. She already had the 50 breaststroke, and this actually breaks Yvette Kong's 100 breaststroke record that has stood for a whopping 7 years. Down here, Siobhan also has the 200 IM, and a fun fact, that was the event that Siobhan first qualified for the Olympics for back in the Rio days. She also has some relay records, which doesn't come as a surprise, and then we get to the short course records. Of course, she has some of them because she even has the individual 200 metre freestyle world record. But then if you come down to the breaststroke, not only does Siobhan have the 50 and the 200 national records, but if we look at the date of the 200 breaststroke national record, it is 2014. And this was actually Siobhan's first ever national record. She was born in October 97, so that means when she set this record back in 2014 in February, she was still just 16 years old. So, she set two. She set the 409 record that day as well. But the 200 breast I know for a fact was first. So at 16, she set her first national record in the 200 breast and followed it up with her second national record in the 400 IM at the Hong Kong Division 1 competition. So no, it's not news that Siobhan has broken new records. So how is this all possible? How can Siobhan compete at such a high level for freestyle but also be a world-class breaststroker? And this all comes back to what she's done in training her whole life. I've actually had the pleasure of meeting her age group coach, and he'd done a very traditional 400 IM kind of based program, and that meant you worked on all the strokes, you got skill for all the elements, and that's why it's no surprise that she got a 400 IM record right at the beginning of her career when she was just 16 years old. Now, as she's gone through her career, she then went to Michigan for college, where they moulded her more into a freestyle specialist who could also be very competitive at 200 IM. And that's when she got to her first Olympic Games, the Olympic Games she had actually qualified for in the 200 IM. She ended up swimming the 200 freestyle before that, making the semi-final, and even withdrew from the 200 IM. From that day onwards, from Rio Olympics, she then focused in on the freestyle. But that doesn't mean Siobhan ever really stopped swimming breaststroke. Back in the ISL, she went at 29 for the first time short course meters, which at the time was an Asian record. And even now, she likes doing some relays with her national team, where she swims the breaststroke leg, or even doing individuals early season at meets like the US Open. She currently is an Asian Games medalist in the 50 breaststroke. And beyond that, it's nice to have something for her to work on in training that isn't maybe as life and death as her freestyle. So let's literally dive back into the US Open 100 breaststroke final, where down in lane 2 is Siobhan Haughey. One above her is Kate Douglas of Virginia, and above her again is Lydia Jacoby, Texas swimmer and Olympic champion in the 100 breast, boasting a PB of 104. Now at the first 20 metres or so, there isn't much in it between all the girls, but then Siobhan's stroke rate, which is higher than Kate's and Lydia's, really starts to let her surge away, and as we approach the 50 wall, it is clearly Siobhan winning. She touches in 31.05, just 0.07 ahead of Lydia, who is at 31.11. But it looks way more than that, and after the turn, Siobhan really starts to even increase that lead. And as we hit the 75 mark, it looks like Siobhan's running away to an absolute monster of a victory. Now, Siobhan did only go out 0.6 off her PB at 50, so maybe it does start to sting on the back end here, or maybe it was just that she's carrying a bit of lactate from that epic 200 freestyle she done earlier. We do know Lydia closes really well, but Siobhan not only gets the victory, but had the best second 50 with 35.0 as she wins by 0.15 over Lydia Jacoby. I'd love to see Siobhan race this, maybe a little fresher, maybe with a little bit more fuel in the tank, but we don't need to spend so much time dwelling because she won this race and that's all there is to it. I've gone on and on in this video about how Siobhan is a specialist in freestyle and so good at it, so I thought I'd show 100 freestyle from the day after, still at the US Open. Siobhan is up in lane 6, and that's because she does a great job of preserving energy for the final by being a little bit more cautious in the heats. In lane 5 is the Olympic champion from 2016, Simone Manuel, who's having a great comeback at this meet after some struggles in the sport over the last couple of years. Lane 4 has Cal's Abby Whitesell, and lane 3 is Gretchen Walsh of Virginia. Now, Gretchen Walsh turns just behind Siobhan, but has one of the best underwater fly kicks in the world and surges into a lead, but then does a coach's nightmare, breathes on the first stroke, puts the brakes on, and watches Tori Husk in lane 2 and Abby Whitesell in lane 4 surge past her. Neither of them look like they're surging as much as Siobhan at the top of the screen, but then Tori Husk looks like she ups her kick, ups her stroke rate and starts mounting an attack on Siobhan, who takes her last breath with 15 metres to go, goes heads down, picks up the stroke rate and pushes on for a big victory, winning in a US Open record of 52.9. 0.2 ahead of Tori Husk, who went 53.1. I hope you enjoyed this little background video of Siobhan's breaststroke history, and I really wish we'd seen Siobhan race some other events like the 200 IM at this meet. Another little fun fact about Siobhan's prowess is she has split a 56.100 butterfly long course on a medley relay with her Hong Kong teammates. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more of the behind the scenes of Siobhan, then Brett Hawke has recently done an awesome podcast with her that you should check out, and I've uploaded loads of content of me videoing, vlogging training sessions of Siobhan in Hong Kong, during the ISL, during at World Champs, and it's really worth a look at because she is one of the best trainers in history, or at least as far as I've seen, but also from what other coaches have told me. If you enjoyed this video and want to support me more, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and maybe even go over to my website, www.theswimsuitguy.co.uk, where I have a range of merch, training plans, and subscriptions that you might enjoy. Thanks again for watching, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.